Saima Nasreen. Warsaw, Poland. Professor Magdalena brings a wealth of experience to our conference, with her work widely recognized in the field of cross-cultural, social, and political psychology. Her research is particularly focused on topics such as individual and collective narcissism, attitudes towards war and peace, perceptions of the social world, entitlement attitudes, subjective well-being, and cultural adaptations of psychological methods. With an impressive 1,866 citations to date and a Google Scholar H index of 24, her contributions to academia are highly regarded and on an international scale. Her accolade speaks to the impact of her work. She has been awarded the Bronze Medal for long-lasting service by the President of Poland, the Medal of National Education Commission by the Ministry of Education of Poland, and a nomination to the Theophrast Prize for the Best Scientific Psychological Book by Character Journal and the Polish Academy of Sciences. We are privileged to have her with us today, and I now welcome Professor Magdalena to deliver the keynote address. Thank you.
Now it's working. Thank you. So thank you for coming. Thank you for inviting me. I am very delighted to be here in Bangalore, and especially this is my first time in India, so it is really important for me personally. Yes, and despite I was not present here in person, yes, I have connection with Indian scholars, especially with my friend Professor Shanmugh Campbell. So thank you for arranging and helping, connecting us. And now I will turn to the point, yes, so to the today's lecture. I am indeed focused mostly on narcissism during last years, and well, I am researcher, I'm not practitioner, what is important, but I am very much interested how narcissists function at many different contexts. And one of my main research interests is also if narcissistic people could be happy, and also if they could be happy at work. And today I will talk to you about my two models of narcissism, which are, of course, collective work of our lab and also our international team. So the next slide, please. Yes, thank you. Okay, I think that narcissism is such kind of topic which you could be familiar very well. It is extremely popular, and it is in fact rooted in Western mindset, in Western culture, and it started from the myth of Narcissus, which is very well known in my region of the world. But I guess you could hear about the ancient myth of extremely beautiful young man who was very self-focused, and one on the goddess, on the smallest goddess, Nympha, was fell in love with him, but he refused to reciprocate her feelings, and as a punishment, he was cursed by the gods, and he fell in love in his own image in the water, and he spent his last days looking at the water with desire to himself till he died. And it's the origin of Narcissus. many years, or thousands years later, to a psychiatric. I know that you know Sigmund Freud. You have fantastic figure in your lobby. So Sigmund Freud, and in the same time also Havelock Ellis, started to recognize some kind of patients which were very similar in their functioning to these ancient young men. Yes, they were very much absorbed about themselves, and they have two ideas. Yes, So Havelock Ellis proposed narcissism as sexual deviation. It is something like loving himself without ability to love somebody else. And at the same time, Sigmund Freud told that narcissism has two meanings, in fact. It is normal period in personal development, but it becomes problem when we stuck on this level. Yes, so in fact, each of you are narcissism or narcissistic period in your life, but if you are mentally healthy, now you should no longer be narcissistic, yes, according to Sigmund Freud. So then, next slide. I mentioned that narcissism is extremely popular. In fact, I investigated many research topics, and I started from complaining, entitlement, and so on. And during my early stage of careers, my audience was not so big as here, yes? But when I turned to narcissism, then I gained a lot of citation. My age index increased rapidly within several years. Why? Because people are really interested in narcissism. Why? Mostly because of these guys, Jean Twenge and Keith Campbell. They wrote in 2008 book, The Narcissism Epidemic. And this, in fact, revitalized interest in narcissism. Yes, they told that now we are living in a time of narcissistic epidemic, and especially young people are self-entitled, as they are spend a lot of time on Facebook, yes, they absorb themselves, and it is not good. I guess that also in India, yes, you have many talent show, yes, you have striving for giving children original names, you would like to be famous, especially without effort. It is what is the narcissistic epidemic about, yes? I also put up a Polish book because in my country is also affected by narcissistic epidemic, but I'm always asked the provocative question. It is a real narcissistic epidemic, or rather researchers created this interest? My personal opinion is the second. Yes, because especially my country is not too much narcissistic, and there is no strong evidence that now everybody is narcissistic. It's just fashionable. So please go on. And because I'm aware that not everybody is studying the narcissism, and is very good for science and for life, I think that beside of this, you have some ideas what narcissism is, and if you are talking with normal person, so-called normal person, not psychologist, you could hear some ideas what narcissism is. So it is some grabs from internet, of course. Internet is common wisdom. So if you look at popular understanding, this is people who are overconfident, self-absorbed, arrogant, but also sometimes very charming, and they are believed that they are socially dangerous. Yes, narcissists feel very well about himself or herself, but people around this person are not so happy, and it is the point. So. Here, because I know that many of you are interested in clinical psychology, in personality psychology and counseling, so in clinical approach we have some special diagnostic unit. It is narcissistic personality, and according to DSM-5, you could put, it is, in DSM, it is a kind of personality disorder, so it is not normal thing, yes, so it is persistent pattern of some kind of feeling of superiority, but also it is constant need for admiration. but and it's this, let's say, bright side, but it is also lack of compassion. It is also problems with sorry, I need to take my dark glasses because not of my narcissism, but because of my eye. So, sorry. So then please switch the next slide, yes, because it is, though I deleted this. These five core, these core symptoms are lack of empathy, it is arrogance, it is constant need of admiration, and is also tendency to abuse others. But it is not by accident deleted, because I'm not focused here on this clinical approach. I am a social personality researcher, and I used to study so-called normal population, including these at work people. And according to this social personality approach, which, by the way, is accompanied by increasing interest of all scientists in psychology in studying narcissism, it's telling, in fact, narcissism is a personality trait or some kind of individual difference which we could find in each of us. It is a spectrum. So in fact, even it is not good to be totally non-narcissistic. It was Israeli idea, yes, that Rami Tolmach, yes, if you are not narcissistic, not entitled at all, it means that you do not love yourself and there's something wrong with you. The problem starts when we go to extremal self-love. So according to social personality approach, we could study narcissism in each context, including normal work. It is not abnormal people. Yes, even in here, yes, even I am narcissistic, some of us are less or more narcissistic. But to make this scientific problem, we need to know, okay, how narcissism looks like, but also what drives them. And I collaborate strictly with Konstantin Sadikidis. I thought that my research is from Sadikidis' camp. It's also Miller camp. Yes, I am from Sadikidis' camp. And he noted that each narcissistic person is driven by two main motives. One, it is self-promotion. So narcissists would like to be proud of themselves, to feel very good about themselves, show off and so on. Oh, we have bird, really nice. But also, okay, this is nice part. But what comes, what happens if you tell narcissistic person, no, you are not brilliant, no, you are not good guy. Then this person react and defend the ego. And it is self-protection. Lastly, especially in social personality psychology, this very popular model of Mitiabak and his colleagues, narcissistic admiration and rivalry. And this model directly refers to these two motives. And it is very important, yes, to keep this in mind, because I also, in my work, I will refer today to admiration as self-promotion and rivalry as this defending ego motivation. And when we go to the details, so it is subclinical, partially adaptive, related to high self-esteem, self-confidence. And it's really nice to remember what Delroy Paulus called mixed blessing. Because narcissistic, by their self-confidence, are very attractive. They are very charming, they are natural leaders in the work context, they gain high position because they are much more interested to be at charge than a regular person, let's say. But also because they strive so forcefully to be a leader, they harm others. And because of this, they are vulnerable to retribution from others. So they could be unhappy because others would say, no, you are not boss, no, you are not so fantastic. So this is mixed blessing. So I'm not sure if you see this as much as I hope you to see, but Konstantin Sadikidis published in 2020 a fantastic review article on all forms of narcissism so far. It was in Searching for Narcissus, and he tried to classify each known forms of narcissism. And this green one is added by my team. In fact, Konstantin mentioned about collective narcissism, agentic and communal, because we are working together. So he makes some preliminary mention in his paper, but not about sanctity and heroism, which I will tell more. So my work is focused on expanding the work of former researchers into communal narcissism. So I will, and also collective, so I will explain this later. So when we are see or not see as this complicated picture, we could ask one question. Okay, there are many narcissists or one narcissist, there are narcissists in many forms. What is about this? Maybe it is possibility that researchers create new forms, yes, and they artificially divide something, and maybe it is overusing of the term. So if it is a real narcissism, it should have some common aspect. Yes, so we could be narcissistic in many ways, but still we need to be narcissistic. So what is the idea for what is about narcissism in general? First, and I like the most, the first expression, it is need of uniqueness. Today I will not talk about vulnerable narcissism, and I think that after my lecture you will ask me about this vulnerable narcissism because it is more important for clinicians. But I focus today on grandiose narcissism, so this self-assertive version of a form of narcissism. But what has in common person who is unassured, not so much self-confident, covered by exaggerated self-esteem, but very fragile, is need of uniqueness. I am the most stupid person in the world. It sounds narcissistic. Yes, so it's not about I am brilliant, but it is about sense of uniqueness. And I think that it's very important and very refreshing to know this, also in the work context, because these persons are constantly involved in social comparisons. So if you evaluate workers, yes, they do not need to have real feedback how they perform, but they need to know, okay, I am not good or bad, but I am better or worse than others. Also, it is proposed by Zlatan Krizan and his colleagues. It is belief in deserving special treatment. And it is especially relevant for work context. So these persons are constantly disappointed by their salary, position at work, acknowledgement, and so on, because it is about feeling especially important. And Sadikides, the best authority here, told that it is egocentric exceptionality, so it is like Fries told, but also social egoism like Krizan told. So his thinking about narcissism unifies all former ideas. So then go to the next slide. I like this model, and I think I would recommend you in your own research because old-fashioned school, including Miller Camp, yes, think that we have some kind of distinct forms of narcissism, this pattern of narcissistic traits. But it is very useful to think about narcissism as a spectrum, like autism spectrum. And this spectrum, the core of this spectrum is this entitlement. Yes, and both parts, grandiosity and vulnerability, is in part independent. If you do your own research on narcissism, including in Indian context, you could find that grandiose narcissism and vulnerable narcissism do not correlate too strongly. Yes, and this is what makes this fuel the correlation. It is antagonism and entitlement. So vulnerable narcissists would like to deserve more because they are so special, fragile, underestimated. And grandiose because they are special, fantastic, and they need more because they are better. Okay, so then you could go. And then we go to the clue where my own research work started. Also at the beginning we worked with Johann Gebauer. And Johann Gebauer, also with Konstantin Sedikides and other scholars, proposed, or noted rather, that when we are thinking about narcissists, okay, we know that they think that they are fantastic. But when we think more, it is okay, but I could be fantastic. Helpful, and it sounds like this antithesis of narcissism. I cannot be the most modest person in the world. It does not make sense, but they believe in this. Yes, so he started research offline showing that there are some special narcissists who believe that they are not narcissistic at all, but they behave as a regular narcissist. And it's especially important, and I hope that after my lecture you will see this as I see, that are especially important and maybe dangerous in work context and in counseling context. So it is the beginning of his work, so please. So agentic narcissists are these which I think you are very well familiar with. Yes? So these are these who overestimate their intelligence, their power, charmingness, and so on. And also they are very much focused on achieving academic success, having high prestige, so they focus on achievements. And if you undermine their achievements, then they attack you on the reverse. And also it is visible on the IAT test, so they have implicit association stronger between self and agency. And also they are no problem with being immoral. It is everything what you know about the so-called dark triad. It is about this. Yes, because they have no problem. I could be a cruel person. I am proud of this. The most important is that I am effective. So they are not interested in overestimating communal traits. Even more, if they told such person that he or she is nice, this person could feel offended. So then next. And communal narcissists, less known so far, I think, they overestimate their helpfulness, morality, following social norms. So they are, I think that especially in Indian context, where you are so stressful on being obedient, polite, and so on, this is a paradise for communal narcissists. So they overestimate the knowledge in communal domains. They, for instance, claim that they know charity organization, that they do not exist. They help others, of course. Also in our recent paper, just published in these summaries, we showed that they, during COVID, they were more ready to help others, but especially in that countries where it was need for this. Yes? So in high fear countries, they helped more, yes, because it was socially rewarded, probably. And also, what is good for them, they are really liked by others. They are successful in deceiving others. But also they at least declare that they like people. So they are, let's say, friendly narcissists. Okay, and then all. And then we back into more details. So I already mentioned this. It is, I think, at least some of you know this story. That agentic narcissism, okay, it is agentic, but also it has specific motivation to self-promote, it is admiration, and self-defense, It is narcissistic rivalry. What is important in work context is that when we do study with admiration and rivalry and regress on anything, work satisfaction, burnout, and so on, we will find that all good things are related to admiration and all bad things are related to rivalry. So rivalry is responsible for lower well-being, lower self-esteem, and negative social outcomes. So then we could go. And now it is the novelty, it is our new model. We tried, and also not only we tried to adapt this thinking of Bach and Sedikides into communal narcissism, but it does not work. Let's imagine a person who we say, you are not friendly, you are not good helper, and this person will attack you. You will see, you are rude, you are cruel, you have no idea how good I am. It is crazy, it is counterproductive. Instead, we thought that for communal narcissists, rivalry cannot be a good way to defend ego. They need something else. We searched for a while, and we have found that this way to protect narcissistic communal self is helping. It is so, we call this narcissistic heroism. In fact, the answer was already in Gebauer's original study because he measured communal narcissism by two types of things. I am the best friend ever, but also if I could, I would invent cure for cancer. It is such kind of thinking. So this future imagination is about exceptional salvation of the world. So we just follow his ideas and create our own scale and own model. And we have some data from last 7 years, in fact. And we have found a quite similar nice pattern like in admiration and rivalry. So sanctity, this thinking that I am moral, good, nice person, is related to everything positive. Higher well-being, higher life satisfaction, and so on, and lower stress. And heroism is not so dangerous. It is related with lower well-being and lower self-esteem as compared to sanctity. But it is not so devastating like overt antagonism. So it seems that it works, but it's still related to defending ego. It is why it's related to more stress. Okay, so we could proceed. And to make my talk even more complicated, but I would like to tell you about grandiose narcissism as much as possible in a short time. We have also another form of narcissism. This what I will talk about so far, about narcissism, is about person. It is about me. I am talented, I am helpful, and so on. But we could transfer our thinking about me to my group. So my group, my nation, my profession, my university is fantastic. But it is not just positive self-evaluation, but it is accompanied by feeling that, okay, my group is great, but it is underestimated. Others do not recognize the greatness of my group as much as we deserve for this. And it's the problem, and it's narcissism. So motivation from individual level is transferred to group level. And it was original work of Agnieszka Golec-Zawala, Paul, by the way. So my nation is much more stressed about narcissism than other nations, probably, like Americans. So then we could proceed. And why we should bother about collective narcissism also in the work context. First, and the most obvious, is prejudice. If my group is so excellent, then others are worse. So this feeling of superiority and paternalism. It is also intergroup aggression, because people with this mindset are thinking that they are attacked by others. I think that's very nice. I will use my own nation example. Yes, Poles are very proud of themselves, but they are constantly believe that others do not recognize Polish greatness. It is, in fact, Donald Trump thinking. Yes, we are Americans are great nations, but others do not respect us as much as we should. So I think that in each nation we could find some people thinking in that way, yes, that we are great, but others attack us. And it is fuel for intergroup aggression, for immigrants, for disloyal part of the nation, yes, and so on and so on. It's very important in political context, but also in work context. And of course, they still see the danger from others. It is so-called siege mentality. Yes, so everybody all around attack my nation, and this aggression is. In fact, it is explained that no, my nation is very nice, my nation is very good nation, but if we are still attacked, we have moral right to counterattack. Here I stop political digression because I think it's quite obvious about what nation now I am talking, not Poles. Okay, so please. And combining and bringing again to work context. We could imagine if we have in mind that there are possible individual and group narcissists, and they could be also agentic and communal narcissists. So the example of individual agentic narcissist is just what you probably have in mind thinking about narcissist. It is bossy person, yes, who is most strong and abusive others. When we go to individual communal narcissism, is exactly this. I will rescue you all. When we go to the group agentic narcissism, military context is very apparent. Yeah? So we will protect our nation, we will defeat our enemies and helpers. Yes, and the kind of medicine, psychologists, and so on. Our professional group is really much like group or collective communal narcissists. We are very easily to start to be proud of us as people who serve the others. What is not bad, but the problem starts when we exaggerate our usefulness. So then please go. Yes, and just this notion from individual narcissists inspired my team to look communal form of collective narcissism. We published this paper in 2021 in Journal of Personality, so if you are interested, you could read more. And it is just the same thinking like Gebauer inspired his work on individual narcissism. If people could think about the group that they are powerful, intelligent, effective, we also could think about our group as moral, helpful, and so on. But the mindset of these people are the same. But the source of the narcissistic greatness and admiration is different. What is the most apparent difference, and what I like to show that communal narcissism is communal collective narcissism exists, is to think communal collective narcissists are ready to support international or intergroup help charity, why this agentic collective narcissist nationalists no. And interpersonal trust. They believe that people are good and they show that they support others, they're tolerant and so on. So it is two domains where the difference appear. Okay. So now go to the point. Yes, it's conference on work satisfaction. So when we are thinking about these successful narcissists, these are grandiose narcissists, and Michel Dufner, also with Jochen Gebauer and some other colleagues, they make really good meta-analysis of works, and they showed that grandiose narcissists report more happiness and show better psychological functioning. The main problem with the study, it was that most of these studies, a lot of them, was based on self-report. So we at least know that they declare more happiness, But we do not know it is not fake, yes, not pretending. But evidence shows that rather grandiose narcissists could be happy, also at work. This mixed blessing, as I wrote, also it's apparent in work context. So, also, these quite new studies show that narcissists indicate, on one hand, they indicate more happiness. Also, this communal narcissist, it is all kind of subjective well-being. It is psychological well-being, it is mental health, it is social well-being, all domains. Whatever we have studied, we always found that grandiose narcissists are more happy. But when we go to this admiration rivalry model, then we see the split. Yes, so the admiration is related to higher satisfaction. In the same time, rivalry leads to lower life satisfaction. And if we have in mind that it's the same person, but in different moods of mindset, so sometimes this person is very happy, but if somebody attacks her or him, then she or he becomes unhappy. So this is mixed blessing. Also, I really like this work published in Psychological Bulletin. I had opportunity to be one of the reviewers of this paper. So they proposed, Joshua Grubbs and Julie Exline proposed a model showing how grandiose narcissism, this classical one, leads to higher stress, because these people are expecting more and more for others. And this leads to high expectations. For instance, if you believe I am a great worker and my boss should reward me, my expectations are so high that even excellent boss cannot fuel my need. So even I will have, like I said, 100 million rupiah per month, we could still be unhappy. So, and regarding collective narcissists, it is interesting that there is very few studies on their well-being, because these people from collective narcissists are mostly political and social psychologists, and they focus on intergroup aggression. So only my team, in fact, is doing research on well-being, and Agnieszka Golec made one study. So they show that this narcissistic in-group identity leads to lower well-being, while secure, where the so-called normal, leads to higher well-being. So it is the only one study. So how we could summarize this? It is that grandiose narcissism is related, or should be related, to higher work satisfaction, but also it has some aversive social outcomes. And also, if you would like to find some studies, as I try to do, most studies use so-called NPI-based narcissism, which is a mess, in fact. It's a very popular scale, but it is mixed of grandiosity, vulnerability, and even antagonism. So I personally do not use this scale. Collective narcissism, lack of serious data, and not too many data on communal narcissists, but all data which we had suggests that they could be happy, but it's very, very few or almost no data on communal narcissism. And some narcissistic admiration rivalry model, it is more popular, so it is, as I told, admiration good, rivalry bad. It is in very brief. Okay, so good. So what we could take from our models? If we think about communal narcissists as this socially adapted, more mild form, we could expect that they should be more liked by others. And also, our study shows that they are not ready to show cynical beliefs. So if they interact with others, they expect good things. They are not suspect them to be rude or something like that, and maybe this prevents them from being hostile themselves, especially the sanctity part. Yes, heroism is not so obvious. Communal collective narcissism, again, they also show higher trust to others, and they are ready to show more pro-sociality and benevolence, but only to those who are, let's say, safe group. So if we see some group which is inferior to ours, we do not see any danger from them, so we will help. But if it's equal group or better group than us, then we are not would like to help. So it is like this thinking of communal collective narcissists. And I like this Lehman and Ziegel-Hill work, and I fully agree with them that the most horrible part of narcissism is antagonism. Is fighting with others. Yes, they could think about themselves whatever they want, but when they start to interact with other people, they show their nasty nature. So, and we see this in data, yes? It is just initial work, but they use admiration and the rivalry model, and they showed that, again, this admiration is good things, as I told previously, and rivalry is related I think this is important, that rivalry is related to lower job commitment. And this is what we are taking care about. Yes, as employers, we would like to have not only satisfied and happy worker, but also person who likes working. And it is related strictly to productivity. And if such person refrain from working, then we have problem. And also, as you as psychologists, you will be asked for do something with that. Yes, so this is problem. Also, there's this too high salary expectations. And then I go to the data, yes, and to our research. This was one of the data comes from our lab. It's our master's student or PhD students. So this was done with working adults, and we use agentic narcissism, communal narcissism, agentic collective narcissism, and communal collective narcissism. All this case. No problem. So. And we just checked which of these 4 forms is related to life satisfaction among working adults. So please go ahead. Yes, so. And I marked in yellow significant correlation, so this correlation pattern. When we look at this data, we could see that agentic narcissism, this NPI-based, is related to higher life satisfaction and positive emotion, and unrelated to negative emotion. When we look at communal narcissism, everything is go in positive line, so they're more happy. But please note, I really like this last result. They are not related to negative. So they report, well, I am happy, but they do not report lower negative affect. So it is my suspicion that something is wrong, yes? There is only maybe declaration. When we go to ACN is agentic collective narcissism, CCN is communal collective narcissism, and then again we could see that also communal collective narcissism, like individual counterpart, is related to more happiness. And here we have some tendency to negative emotions, but also it's not so strong. Why is it important? Because it's the difference between healthy self-esteem, healthy collective self-esteem, where we will find such relation. So something wrong is with these people. Yes, they are happy, but not unhappy. Okay, so please go. And of course, having so many types of narcissism, we could think, okay, maybe it is some overlap. Correlation is useful, but it is not clear picture. What is more important? In this context, we have found that more important was collective narcissism. When we put into regression agentic individual narcissism and communal individual narcissism is no longer significant. And the picture is very clear. Agentic narcissism is bad, and collective narcissism is communal, is good for life satisfaction. Okay. And the pattern for the others is really similar, so it's why I showed this. So according to this study, when we use full model of agentic communal individual group, we have seen that for plain life satisfaction, collective narcissism is more important than individual, communal is better than agentic. And of course, there is a lot of limitation. Yes? So it is only initial study, so I will not reiterate it now. But also it is no relation with negative emotion. Yes, so it is good to have this in mind. Okay, so please go ahead. So, as you could probably know, this initial study we used the old-fashioned measure of narcissism. Here, we would like to benefit from our new model of agency, communal, so those admiration, rivalry for agentic narcissism, heroism and sanctity and heroism for communal narcissism, and again the same scales as before. And this time it was people working, it is important, yes, it is working in medical settings. They were pharmaceutics and physicians. So this study related not bureaucracy workers, but professionals, helpers. And when we go to the correlation pattern, again, we could see quite a similar pattern as before, but it is just reiteration of former studies. Rivalry is related to bad things, admiration is related to good things, but also not too much to negative emotion, so it is again not self-esteem, yes, it's something different. When we look at heroism, it is related to greater life satisfaction, also with flourishing, and when we look at sanctity, the pattern is very similar. So it looks like at the level of correlation, like this admirative part and self-protective part among communal narcissists has no negative effects, what is nice. Okay, so please go ahead. And again, we used regression to clear the pattern to control for shared part, and in fact this result was for me a bit surprising at the first glance, but knowing more study I have some ideas why. But we could see that this self-protective part is what fuel life satisfaction. So probably, yes, it is good to be heroic in the work context if you are a helper. Yes, so it is, and it's only one significant result. So anything is not significant. Okay, so we could go ahead. Yes, so in this context we have found that only heroism was a good thing, for life satisfaction at least. And also what I really like it is that admiration was no longer significant. So communal narcissism is more important in the helping context for life satisfaction. But of course, there is a lot of problems with this sample. Yes, it is maybe it is just restricted to medical or professional helper group. Okay. And it is very, very fresh data. My master's student will defend just immediately after our back to Poland. On 1st October, she will defend her thesis. So it's really fresh data. And she reached a really interesting sample. They are professional firemen. It is not voluntary firemen. It's people who are working firemen for full-time period. And we were interested, and my student was interested, because she noted some interesting thing. If you are a helper, and especially if you are a fireman, you need to be go to the medical staff for examination to allow you to work longer. And these people have a tendency, according to my student, who is very well familiar with the context, that these people tend to deny that they have any medical problems, and they believe in the exceptional super health. And I was also very happy that one of my Israeli colleagues, Orek Osman and his staff, created Hyperhealth scale. So it is really fresh. They try to publish this still. Yes, they have initial papers on this, so I could share with you if you would like. It's a really nice scale in English also, and Also, we had this resilience scale, which the short version was created by John Maltby, also in collaboration with my team. So please go ahead, yes. And when we look at the correlation pattern, yes, we see that as always, yes, admiration is related this is important, is avoidance is this not going to the doctor. So each form of narcissism, admiration, rivalry, sanctity, heroism have in common, and it's quite strong relation, yes, they avoid going to doctor. But this positive illusion about being super healthy is restricted only to communal narcissism. And in fact, it was counterintuitive. My student, before starting data, had a hypothesis that it will be related to agentic. Yes, because I am agentic, so I am effective, so then I should deny that I have health problems. And we have found something different. So I'm always lucky if I see something unexpected. So, okay. And when we go to the again, regression, yes, the pattern is again very clear. So yes, even if we control for resilience, we still have significant results. So it's not only because they believe that they are resilient, but it's something related to narcissism itself, and only to communal narcissism. So these people believe that they are super healthy. Okay, and then you go away, you go further. And this is also, we try mediational model, where we try to explain super health illusion and avoidance. Our thinking was that because these people believe that they are very resilient, so they do not need external help. And it was in part true. So I really like this finding, yes, that when we look at avoiding medical help, it is direct relation. So because, and it is related with rivalry and with heroism. These are two antagonistic parts of narcissism, agentic and communal. So it's exactly according to the theory. So I do not listen to the doctor, I am more smarter than doctor, yes? So it's probably such kind of thinking. But belief in super health is mediated by resilience. So it also makes sense that, okay, I am super health and I have also very, very resilient. And it is especially related, as you could see, to this grandiose part, not to rivalry, yes? So, and admiration even is related in this data negatively with super health, what is weird, yes? But positive relation is between communal narcissism and super health. Okay, so then go ahead, yes? So from this study we could see that communal narcissists has some downsides. They are very happy at work, but they could not search help from others when they will be in need, and also they have illusions that they are exceptionally resilient, health, and so on. So if you recognize something as you professionals, yes, yourself, just think more about this. And this is probably, I believe, my study, or our team study. It was collected on voluntary military services. During COVID, we have some voluntary forces which helped people with dealing with COVID. They provided help with vaccination, with providing food, and so on. And it was, in fact, like military organization, but not professional. Paweł Borysiewicz, who is the first author, PhD student of Professor Piotrowski, had very good observation that among these people we should observe such kind of compassion fatigue. Yes, and burnout by helping, because, as you remember from your own COVID experience, I think, that it was dangerous situation, it was possible to be infected, it was constant service. So it was extremely stressful situation, yes, in fact, to helping in such time. So it was our initial thinking before the data. The sample is quite decent. It is Of course, in this case, we had more men than women, what is typical for such kind of services, and we used all forms of narcissism, agentic narcissism, communal narcissism, and also to collective narcissism. And as a dependent measure was professional quality of life. I think that you know this scale, you could know even better than I do. And among these, it was interesting for us to measure compassion, satisfaction, burnout, and stress related to helping. So please go ahead. And it is how the professional quality of life scale is composed. It is positive thing, is compassion, satisfaction, is what we would like to see, and compassion fatigue, what we would like not to see. And we, of course, we are interested whether narcissism is a risk factor in higher compassion fatigue and lower compassion satisfaction. So please go ahead. And also we measured work engagement. Again, what's important for us was absorption, vigor, and dedication. So it was positive thing, yes, to be engaged at work. And please go ahead. Yes, okay. And this again, as always, correlational pattern. And if you could look at this closer, it is communal narcissism is good, rivalry is bad, and agentic and communal collective narcissism is related in opposite direction. In fact, it's positively related to compassion satisfaction, what is good, but only, no, I see that both these are related weakly negatively to this bad thing, to burnout. Yes, so it looks like it would be something good, so could go ahead. And when we go to the regression and compassion satisfaction, we see nothing. Because it was something, probably it was just about some kind of exaggeration, and so it was not related, also not related in negative way, yes, but it was unrelated. So then, yes, go next. And this model, again, I see that a colorful picture is not a good idea, but you need to believe me, yes, now, that when we look only on model composed from individual narcissism, we see that sanctity is related in positive way to to dedication to work, yes, but the bad side is that it could lead to greater burnout. So sanctity shows some kind of mixed blessing. Yes, and heroism is related only to this negative aspect, yes, so it's only weakly related, and it is no, and rivalry is as always nasty thing in this context. Okay, so we go to the final slide, so thank you for your patience. Now I will summarize this. So I hope that these even quite initial findings will inspire you to your own work, but we could see that communal narcissism seems promising, yes? It is not something bad, but when we look closer, it does not protect against negative feeling, but it could give some kind of satisfaction. But also it has some downsides. It's like being blind of own weakness. So this is this danger part. And also it could be related as a risk factor for burnout. And this, of course, this study was done in very specific context. So then we go to the general conclusions. So when we look closer, in fact, individual narcissism is related more to work satisfaction than collective one, especially when we look at specific contexts like helpers. This communal seems to be profitable, but with some, I would not encourage you to be communal narcissists, because it has own mixed blessing, maybe not so antagonistic, and that this will ruin your social relations, but it could ruin your health. And antagonism, it is just replication. Yes, the most problematic part of narcissism is antagonism. It is what decreases our work satisfaction, increase problems with others. And still we need more studies, especially for this agentic collective narcissism, which looks quite weird, yes, and something really wrong in the work context. Okay, so thank you for your attention. And if you would like to contact me, it's contact to me, so feel free to write.
Thank you, Professor Magdalena Piotrowska, for your insightful session. The session is open for question-answer round. Any questions from the audience? Yes, we have a question. Can we pass a mic there? Can we, There is only one mic. Okay. Yeah.
So I will answer this.
Ma'am, you can be seated.
No, I am. Okay. I see that not only me, I have the microphone here, so.
Thank you. I have 3 questions. One is, I would like to know the difference between group narcissism and collective narcissism. The second one is the group narcissism in a private company, a manufacturing company or whatever, that would, if the management is, or they are all comprising a group of narcissists, then it will affect the company. So how the lower subordinates can save the company? The third question is, narcissism, the group narcissism can even bring down a democracy, which happened in Europe, Hungary, for example.
Okay.
So how would you take care of that part?
Okay, thank you for your questions. Especially the first one is what I would expect, because it's not easy to differentiate. So the most easy difference between individual and group narcissism is the focus, because in the individual narcissism you are care about your own self without others. So I am intelligent and so on. But in group narcissism, it is your satisfaction is about yourself. Is taken from being a part of group. So yes, I am, let's say, I am a talented psychologist, so it's individual narcissism, but I work for exceptional, or psychologists are the most talented people which I know, or I work for fantastic organization. My charity organization is better than other charity organizations. So it is this difference between individual and collective narcissism. The second question was about how this is related to work context, yes? Exactly. When we look to the practical level, I try to show that it is, in fact, it is maybe nothing so dangerous in thinking good about yourself, but the problem is when we are dealing with persons who are antagonistic. So as a manager, we need to focus people in constructive resolving conflicts. And remembering that that narcissistic people are oversensitive. Sometimes they put in other minds something what does not exist. So I think that, I don't know if it works in Euro context, yes, but in Poland and in Europe, you have very good solution. Salaries are not publicly known. as well as any motivational additionals and so on. So then it is no fuel to social comparison. Why my colleague received 5,000 zloty, yes, and I received only 4.5, yes? Even itself, this 4.5 is quite big money. So this, if you have no possibility to engage in social comparisons, it is good. And also these grandiose narcissists are oversensitive on insults. So if you would like to provide negative feedback to your employer, you should take this person in your room and do it in private, because if you do it publicly, then the reaction will be massive and destructive for organization. Yes, and the last thing about this collective or group narcissism. In fact, on purpose, I ignored this line of research because I essentially disagree. There is works of Cichocka, Cisłak, and so from my country on group narcissism and work context. But they do some methodological trick. They regress, they measure secure identity. I am proud of being, let's say, fireman. And they measure only this one narcissist, this agentic collective one. My group is underappreciated. When we do it in one regression, methodologists would be aware what I am doing now. If you do it on the correlational level, we see nothing because they are very strongly positively related. When we do similar things in one regression, then we have pairs of partialing. So then, artificially positive identification with group, I am proud to be psychologist, is positively related to things, and I am underappreciated, is negatively related. But collective narcissism has two parts. I am proud and I am underappreciated. So it is why I use these two forms of collective narcissism, and then we see only effects of collective narcissism in agentic and in communal domain. And then we could see that it has some good side, but also negative, of course. So I hope that answered your questions.
Any further question? Yeah.
I have two questions. One is, how do negative narcissists respond to criticism, even it's constructive? And the second, a negative narcissist shows when they don't get attention or admiration they expect.
Okay, so I try to answer, especially to the second question about this administrative context. Yes, in fact, there are some line of research starting on entitlement and this classical narcissism in maybe not in work context, but also in school context, because narcissistic students, yes, you know probably such kind of this. It is, in fact, all my research work is about the difference where we are talking about normal sense of self-worth. It is nothing bad to claim of a higher grade if you are a talented student and your teacher is wrong. The same, you are a talented worker and you are overpaid. Yes, it is not a good thing. You have right to claim. The problem is when the line is broken. Yes, so I have. There is no. It's important question without easy answer. If the easy answer would exist, then we all will be more happy. Yes, so anything what we could do with that is remembering that narcissism is in the mindset. So do not leave the space to misinterpretation. If your organization, your administration, you have fair system with clear rules, then it is easy to assess whether somebody broke clear and fair rule. And then you could do something with this, yes? Ignore, punish, send to therapy, whatever, yes? But if the system is unclear, it is on your mind, on your side to decide it is good claim or bad claim. It is self-worth or it is narcissism, yes? So it's what I would say.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Piotrowska. Like, now we cannot take any further questions because we are running late of like schedule. So I would like to call upon Professor Srinivas M, Dr. Soumyashri K.N. ma'am, and Dr. Rohini Shivananda ma'am for felicitating ma'am with the traditional shawl.
You want any help? No, just help.
I request all our faculties to please come on the dais.